So possibly the biggest feature to roll, and the amount of stuff that you can do with MIDI now within Ableton 12 is amazing. Like, I really like this feature. So I'm going to start off here today with just inserting a MIDI clip. Let's do it in 3 bars. Boom. And when I click in here, you'll see at the top here, if you click on the eye, you'll see like kind of the scale of the track that you're working in. So say if I'm going F sharp, and I can always use this when I'm putting in samples as well and trying to have my bass and like my pads, etc. matching. But you'll see here in the scale here, so I am in a F sharp, and you'll see it's already highlighted. So I have this scale here highlighted, and I have the scale function as well, so we can see it here. So I know I'll stay within that scale. So I have a synth here loaded here, which is a silent, and when I click back into the MIDI elements, you will see here now what I will do is I will do an F sharp, the one long note, and you'll see up here you're able to change kind of the adaptive grid. I'm working in 16 notes, so I have one note here, and if I click on, I believe it's Control E, it will change that into 16 notes. So it's a pretty cool feature. So if I want to create like some sort of chord progression, I will grab, say, like from here, and what I will do is I will bring this up by 2 semitones, and there's the 2 semitones there. And now when I click this again, I'll bring this up another 3 semitones. Let me have a listen to this. Perfect. So say for instance I will just duplicate this over, which is Control D or Command D in a Mac. And now if I want to create a cool chord progression, I will grab like the 3 of these, and see up here, I'll drag the 2 of these up, and you'll notice they'll all stay within the same scale. So they should stay within the same scale. Let me have a listen to these, and actually I'll just drag these 2 and I'll bring these down as well, and you'll see it's all highlighted here in the purple. That's the scale that it's within. And maybe let me move this up about 2. So let's have a listen to this. It's not bad. And you'll see there I just changed one note. I didn't really like the sound of the last kind of chord progression there, but see how quick that was to create a cool melody. So that's a really cool feature which I like in the piano roll here in Ableton 12. So the next feature in Ableton 12 is the Arpeggiator function. What I can do is I can grab these 16 notes here that we had earlier, and if I want, I can stretch these out. The old way I used to be able to is just grab this and stretch it out, which I still like doing, but you can also grab it here and use the stretch function here, and this will do it to the grid, I believe, like that. But again, it's up to yourself if you want to use that feature, but I will just drag these out like a pad, because I want to create an arpeggiator. Now there is an arpeggiator tool within Ableton. Once I click here, I'll click on the arpeggiator function and say I want to go on a C sharp, drag this up here, and I drag these notes. When I click transform, it will turn them into an arpeggiator. And I'll grab these as well, click on transform, and let's have a listen to this. Drag this as well, transform, and drag this as well, and then click transform. And now let's have a listen to this. Just bring these in a little bit closer. Now obviously I can change it here up, and let me see, up down. Obviously you can invert them as well. When I come back to this feature here and invert, a really cool feature with the Arpeggiator. I really like that. So do check out this section here, and there are loads of other multifunctional kind of tools here within Ableton which I'll go through in a later stage. But the Arpeggiator function I find very useful instead of using the actual MIDI tool. The next feature within the MIDI piano roll editor is the connect function. We're already looking at the Arpeggiator sequence here, so when I click on connect, how this kind of essentially works is you have to have space within your MIDI notes, so you can create some cool spread within the scale difference. So when I click this, I'll just create spaces within the 3 of these, and see the scale difference here. When I select this, you'll actually create some notes within there, or even the grind as well. I can actually add in more or make them even smaller. For the tutorial purpose, I'll just keep it here, and then I will just manipulate it here with the spread function. Let's have a listen now. Try out these 4 as well, and turn the transform off and on. Manipulate this as well. The next feature as well on Ableton 12 is they've incorporated the mixer into the arrangement view. I really like this feature. Some people may not like it, but it looks like Logic Pro. So I've mapped the shortcut to my mouse, which is a lot quicker when I click on it here. Yeah, it should show up there. So there's the mixer in the arrangement view. Instead of me clicking the tab function where you would have to go to the back like that, now all you do is you go up here and you click on its Control Alt and M. So if you have like a mouse with a few buttons on it, you can map it to a lot quicker usability, and the feature's really cool. And you can see already there's a few changes to the layout while we're here. You'll see at the top there, you'll see the filter section, and you'll also see this little icon from certain samples. I'll just show you this feature really quick. It's really cool. So there's a cool drum loop that I like, and I'll just drag and drop it in here, and then you'll see this little icon on it. When I click on this icon, it's like AI, it will find similar sounds to this actual drum loop here. So when I click on this, it'll find in loads here, because you could have thousands of samples, you know, and you could be wanting something similar to that kind of drum loop. So here's the original. And you can see the kind of likeness from the original source. You know, some of them are actually pretty accurate, and I do actually like this feature. I think they have this in the likes of Loop Cloud and Splice as well, but on the Ableton I actually found some fairly accurate, so do check that out. It's one of the most common features now on Live 12. Also, just a quick one, they had this in 11 as well, but always make sure when you go up here into the collections, it has a lot of clutter in this area, so make sure when you click on edit, just remove any sort of features that you don't use, like templates, tunings, grooves. I would generally not use these, depends on yourself, but just always make sure to clean up this area. So the next feature, which I actually really like on Ableton 12, is say I am working with track here, I'll just press play, and I click in the clip or something like that, I want to throw an EQ. They have this feature on Google Chrome. It's good for the browser, and it's very quick for usability. If I click on Control F or Command F on a Mac, if I click on Control F and just type in Pro Q, you'll see at the top here the Pro Q comes up in here. Now if you noticed, I didn't click up to the top here to click on it. So say I'm just working away on my track here, or I click over here and I want a limiter. If I just go Control F, click on limiter, you can see it up here, and I can drag and drop it in here. Now I wouldn't throw a limiter obviously in the channel, I throw it on a master, but it's just the usability. See how quick that was to be able to grab any plug-in. I didn't need to go all the way over here and click onto it. I could be working on something over here, and you know, I can search for it by clicking Control F or Command F on a Mac. Cool new audio plugin added to Ableton 12 is the Roar audio plugin. If you go up to your audio effects here, and you'll see it there. And it's like a saturator or like the overdrive function, but it has a lot more usability. It's really cool, and I'll show you some of the sounds from this audio effect. And there's loads of different presets that you can use. You can create your own like guitar tone. Let me have a listen to this. I was a big fan of the overdrive plugin from Ableton Live, so now they've incorporated this Roar, and it's a lot more, it has a lot more features, so do check this out.